Ready? Three hops in.
Did you guys get some photographs?
Yeah.
Safaris, I'm Irish Dave, as you may or may not have figured
We
out.
might have figured that one.
Have you guys been on airboats before?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Us too.
Cool. All right, and how about Homosassa? Have you been in the area here before?
From here.
Yeah.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
About 4 years ago. Fine.
So boat safety. So we never use this stuff. I just want to run through it so you know where everything is. I don't plan on using it today. So I've got life jackets for everybody underneath your seats. If I tell you to put one on, we're sinking.
Right.
You don't need to ask questions. Just grab one of the horseshoe type. You put them over your head, wrap strap around your waist, and clip it at the front. And then just use one of our many emergency exits to enter the water. Coast Guard says we're supposed to float around and wait to be rescued. I'm going to say it's much less embarrassing and time consuming if you stand up and walk the shore. The water's about that deep, more or less. If you get a fire on board, it's going to be back where the gas and the motor is, so all the hot stuff's back there. I've got a fire extinguisher in this little hatch up front, which does not contain a turtle anymore.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling heroic, you want to use that, just pull the pin out, press the handle, aim for the base of the fire till it's fully extinguished. You may wonder why I'm not doing that. It's because they don't pay me enough to put fires out. And you guys are on vacation, so I don't want you guys to worry about it either. So option 2 I think we should take is just grab your life jackets. We'll walk to a safe distance and watch the boat burn. Okay, it's not my boat. If we had a fire, or no, if we had somebody fall overboard, I've got a flotation cushion under this chair as well. So I'll throw it to you, you grab it and stand up, and I'll do a loop and come back and pick you up. Okay, we don't leave anybody behind, but what we do for first time people overboard is take photos.
Very good.
I've got a first aid kit in here as well, and a flare kit. With the flares, in the unlikely event that we encounter a tsunami and I get washed away and you guys are floating around the Gulf of Mexico alone at night, pop off a flare, you get a nice fireworks display and then a helicopter ride home.
Sounds good.
When there was a plantation here, and they used to grow sugar cane at the plantation, and they'd move it up the canal when it was harvested to the sugar mill that you guys passed by on the way into town. That's located at the end of the canal behind us, and once they got it there, they'd process it into refined sugar, syrup and molasses, and they used molasses to make rum, and then they move it back down the canal to the river and 2 miles upstream to the springs. That's where the end of the Florida Railway was at the time, and it'll be loaded onto railway carts and sent up to Gainesville for distribution. Great blue heron just ahead of us, guys. That's one of our local wading birds. My guests when we're heading out on the water on an airboat tour is that no two tours are ever the same. Conditions are constantly changing and wildlife is moving around. So as the name suggests, it is wildlife and it is wild. It goes where it pleases, and that may not be where we are. This guy's flying here is the green heron, smallest heron in Florida. I'll tell you about him in a minute. But yeah, we never know what we're going to see. So what we do guarantee is you will have a good time and you will see monkeys.
Monkeys?
This is Monkey Island right ahead of us, guys, where the lighthouse is. So it used to be an underwater boating hazard. There's a big pile of rocks in the river that people kept running aground on. So the locals got fed up with rescuing them and built it up into an actual island to be visible above the high tide mark. And they added the lighthouse at a later date for extra visibility. It is a working lighthouse. Yeah. Now there's 4 spider monkeys living on the island. And
wow.
They originated at the Homosassa Wildlife Park prior to it being state owned, but when the state bought it they wanted only native Florida animals. Of course monkeys didn't fit the bill, so after a couple of failed attempts of trying to rehome them elsewhere where they kept escaping, the Riverside Resort on our left hand side here said they'd take them and put them out on the island because they know they don't like to swim and they don't like the water at all. So there, so I can't recommend that, but the drinks are excellent. Imagine an Irish guy knowing that.
regular boat.
Nope.
Wow. Wow.
It's so shallow.
These islands we're around right now are called St. Martin's Keys, and they're all mangrove islands, all protected waterbird habitat.
Is there any actual land in that, or is it all just the base of the mangroves?
Most of it's just mangroves, just growing up out of the water. Very low tide, we might get a little bit of land under it, but you're not permitted to get out
Yeah.
of your vessel and stand on the land. However, you can walk around ankle deep water beside it if you really wanted to. So, just to give you a kind of picture of where we are. We're about 2.5 miles out in the Gulf of Mexico. You've got the Crystal River Power Plant. It's just behind this island ahead of us. at our 3 o'clock, you got a white water tower there. That's Ozello, little fishing town out in the middle of the sawgrass. Nothing much to it, but it's quite picturesque. A couple of good seafood restaurants out there.
There's a town out there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing it's a boat in town only?
Nope. There's an entrance or a road out to it, should I say, off Highway 19, just north of Homosassa. Right behind us on the opposite side of the islands is Homosassa Bay. So that's about 8 miles across, and it leads down into Ozello. No, not Ozello. Chaswitzka, sorry. So usually the first thing that people notice when they're out here is the water is extremely clear and extremely shallow.
Yes.
So there is reasons for both. It's extremely clear because of this grass that we're floating on top of right now. This is called turtle grass, and we've got some of the largest seagrass meadows in the United States right here off the coast of Homosassa. They're kind of mixed in here with sponge beds, but when you get further out, a lot more grass, a lot more lush, deeper grass. And essentially, as the tide washes over, back and forth over the grass, every little particle that's in it gets trapped in the blades of grass and eventually works its way down to the bottom. Got a big stingray out front, guys. Look, about 10 feet off the front of the boat, just to the right. See him right here? Look.
Oh, I can see him.
Yeah, on the bottom.
Oh, on the bottom.
You see him, yeah, just doing his wings. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. You wouldn't have... He's right.
He's moving, yeah.
You have to stand up, hon.
Oh, I see.
There's another one out to the left as well, about 25 feet out. He's hauling.
Wow. Oh, and there's a big fish in there.
It's really shallow here
In the
because
bottom.
we're on a natural shelf. So as you're heading off the coast here, for every mile that you go out, the average depth drops off only by a foot. So you can be 10 miles offshore in 7 feet of water on a low tide, and not even see land,
Just 7 feet of water.
Yep. And nothing around you.
How come when we were coming out, so many of the trees were topped off?
That's from rising sea levels worldwide, basically. A lot of people think it's hurricane damage, but as the sea levels are creeping up over
the tree
time,
eventually...
essentially the roots get saturated with salt and they can't survive.
Oh.
They're resistant to salt, but they're not salt proof,
Oh,
They'll
okay.
eventually get you, like any living thing, really.